Welcome. So I want to welcome everybody to Liberty on the Rocks. My name is Etienne de la Buissy, and I'm the author of Government, the Biggest Scam in History Exposed, and the founder of the Art of Liberty Foundation. The Art of Liberty Foundation is a startup public policy organization. We are voluntarist crime fighters exposing intergenerational organized crimes control of the government, the media, and academia. We're here today at the Global Center for Christ Consciousness in the City of Light, Sedona, the consciousness capital of the planet. For those of you in the audience unfamiliar with voluntarism, it's the idea that all relations between people must be voluntary. No one gets to use violence or extortion on anyone else. No one gets an exemption from morality, especially the government. And no one gets the ring of power because there isn't a ring of power. Also inherent in voluntarism is the understanding that the world is a self-organizing system that produces spontaneous order, and that everything the government does would be done better, faster, and cheaper by the free market, by mutual aid societies, by co-ops, by homeowners associations, by armed service providers, by genuine charities. There's also a basic understanding of economics and the market mechanisms that provide everything that people want from government without the extortion or the violence or the never-ending warfare. These market mechanisms include free markets, private property, the invisible hand, and the discipline of constant dealings, to name a few. When we published our first flyer for this event advertising, is government legitimate at all? Or is it a system for robbing and controlling populations? And is government stealing the value out of your money through inflation? We were almost kicked out of this venue. I think there might have been some kind of misconception that voluntarists were violent or that being anti-government is bad. The truth is, voluntarism is a movement of peace where the overwhelming majority of voluntarists subscribe to the non-aggression principle, also known as the NAP, that posits that government, where the initiation or threat of force is illegitimate, which is essentially a codification of the golden rule and natural law. The fact that governments routinely violate the non-aggression principle and natural law rights is proof positive that government is an immoral system that should be opposed by the moral and the upstanding. Additionally, we aren't so much anti-government as we are pro-freedom. And when I say pro-freedom, I mean real freedom, not the fake version of freedom taught in the government's indoctrination centers, where 50% of your income is stolen in overt taxes, covert taxes, and inflation. Not the fake freedom of never-ending wars based on lies and manufactured intelligence. Not the fake freedom of Guantanamo Bay and torture or conscription, or the imprisonment of millions for victimless crimes that aren't really crimes at all, where peaceful people are frequently locked in for-profit prisons and forced to work as essentially slave labor in horrific conditions. I like to call voluntarism the only political ism that is fair for everyone. Every other ism, whether it's communism, socialism, or constitutional republicanism, there is a ruling class that has rights that you don't, and has an exception for morality, the ability to steal from those who have served, who have earned and saved. The pitch of the Republicans is elect our guy, and he's going to rob everybody, and he's going to implement a slate of promised political schemes. The pitch of the Democrats is no, elect our guy, and he's going to rob everybody, and he's going to implement this different slate of promised political schemes. The pitch of voluntarism is, hey, why don't we not rob anybody? The world is a self-organizing system that produces spontaneous order, and everything the government provides, except redistribution, would be better provided by the free market and free exchange between free people. The ugly truth about voting and or supporting any political candidate is that you are voting for violence and advocating the use of violence against your friends and neighbors who disagree. The exception is voting defensively for privaticians that promise not to steal and redistribute, but to protect your life, your liberty, and your property. In a free society, you would be able to have pockets of socialism, even communism, without infringing on the ability for your neighbors to live free. But government always requires violence and tax slavery. The truth of the matter is that this venue is completely appropriate to what voluntarism is really about. And the Art of Liberty Foundation is exposing the exact same organized crime interests as Jesus, the government, and the money changers. The Art of Liberty Foundation is somewhat unique among liberty organizations in that we are striking the root by exposing the illegitimacy and the criminality of government and the unethically manipulative techniques that governments use to trick the population into going along with something that isn't in their interest. Because no one likes to get tricked, suckered, or chunked when most people realize that government has been the biggest scam in history and has been running game on them and using unethically manipulative techniques. They're out. It's a one-way revolution that is only going in one direction, that is both capable and destined for exponential growth. So we're going to win this thing, and we want you to be with us as we punch it across the goal line. If you like this presentation from the 2023 Liberty on the Rocks Conference in Sedona, we wanted to invite you to Liberty on the Rocks 2024, which will be held in Sedona on November 1st through 3rd, 2024. This year, the theme is the Voluntaryism Conference, and while many Americans will be getting ready to hold their noses and vote for the lesser evils in what we believe are easily rigged elections with black box voting machines and mail-in ballots, we are assembling the most prominent voluntarists on the planet to talk about how we can get all of the legitimate, non-redistributive services people want from government without the waste, fraud, abuse, and extortion. Join David Friedman, Larkin Rose, Walter Block, James Corbett, Derek Brose, and myself and musical headliner Grant Presence Elman in Sedona, either in person or virtually, on November 1st through 3rd. Details at sedona.artofliberty.org.